question.
Sure, Lucy. What's your question?
To me, I don't know. It looks like all the gospel writings from the Synoptics and from John, it's almost as if you're in stage 3, but they're going back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's their interpretation almost.
That's what stage 3 is.
You know what I mean? So they're all doing that.
Stage 3 is an interpretation of stage 2,
Right.
which is an interpretation of stage 1.
Right. It's like they're all doing that.
Like all of us, all the
Each
time.
one is doing that.
Right. That's exactly right. That's an organic understanding of what's going on. And you can and stage 3 is very important. It's the most important stage. And this is the very important thing for us to understand. The Jesus groups that made gospels were not so interested in recording the exact words and exact deeds of Jesus as they were in preserving and passing down their interpretations of the original Jesus group, the original Jesus movement's interpretations of Jesus and memories of Jesus. And we have to accept that the Holy Spirit works in that mess and messiness. Folks, a number of scholarly controversies attend this story of the multiplication of the loaves and fish in John and in its synoptic counterparts. Since it's the only account of an extraordinary feeding reported in all 4 Gospels, it has become the focus of debate over whether John knew any of the synoptics. We'll address this toward the end of the class. Some scholars have seen the story as full of allusions to the account in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 42 to 44, where Elisha, the prophet, multiplies barley loaves and feeds a throng of people. More common are scholarly views that the story in John, as well as in the Synoptics, is heavily influenced by the ritual meal practices of Jesus groups, meaning the Eucharist. Consider the Markan version of the story. Mark chapter 6, verse 35 to 44. By now it was already late, and his disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already very late. Dismiss them so that they can go to the surrounding farms and villages and buy themselves something to eat." Jesus said to them in reply, "Give them some food yourselves." But they said to him, "Are we to buy 200 days' wages worth of food and give it to them to eat?" He asked them, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And when they had found out, they said, 5 loaves and 2 fish. So he gave orders to have them sit down in groups on the green grass. The people took their places in rows by hundreds and by 50s. Then, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to sky vault, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to the disciples to set before the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And they picked up 12 wicker baskets full of fragments and what was left of the fish. Those who ate of the loaves were 5,000 men.
But there were women, right?
We'll talk about that toward the end. Yeah, of course. While it is the disciples who serve the crowd in the Markan account, in John, Jesus himself distributes the food in a manner reminiscent of synoptic accounts of Jesus' Last Supper. As we're going to see later in John, unlike Mark, Matthew, and Luke, there is no Eucharistic institution narrative in John. And the Last Supper meal is not a Passover meal. It's a farewell dinner. fourth gospel, Jesus typically takes the initiative and is described as being in complete control. Hey, thanks for watching. Just continue the playlist for the next part of the study. If you have further questions, this is good. They will get addressed, so keep watching. If you found value, please subscribe, like, and share. As always, questions, comments, and criticisms are most welcome. God bless you.